Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into an idea that is totally changing the game in classrooms, flipped learning. And it all starts not with some fancy new tech, but with a teacher who was right on the edge of quitting. Meet Andrew Thomason. He's a high school English teacher, and by all accounts, a pretty good one. A great lecturer, the kind of teacher you'd think was crushing it. But the reality was he was completely burning out, really struggling to keep his students and, frankly, himself engaged. It's a story a lot of teachers out there know all too well. So, the solution to Andrew's problem? Well, it comes from this book right here, Flipped Learning for English Instruction. It's written by Jonathan Bergman and Aaron Sams, and you need to know those names, because these are the two guys who basically kicked off this entire movement. See, Andrew's story isn't just about one teacher having a tough time. It really shines a light on a crack in the foundation of the traditional way we teach, a system where even being a good lecturer just isn't enough anymore. And here's the paradox that gets me. Andrew was good at the main thing teachers are supposed to do, lecture. And yet, he was failing. That tells you something really important. Being a great speaker doesn't mean great learning is happening, and it sure doesn't prevent you from burning out. The whole model was built on something shaky. So, what was the big fix? Well, it didn't come from some expert in an ivory tower. Nope. It came from two regular high school chemistry teachers who were just trying to help their students not fall behind. Okay, so let's set the scene. It's 2007. John Bergman and Aaron Sams start recording their lectures. The idea was simple. If a student was sick or missed class, they could just watch the video and catch up. But then they heard about a college kid who was acing a class just by listening to the recordings and never showing up. And that's when the light bulb went off. Aaron Sams asked this deceptively simple question. What if we just stopped lecturing during class time altogether? What if the lecture wasn't the main event? Think about that. What would that free you up to do with all that time? That one question, right there, changed everything. And this is the core idea they developed, what they call Flipped Class 101. And listen, it's not really about the technology. It's about time. It's about a time shift. You move the lecture out of the group time so you can use that precious face-to-face time for stuff that actually matters way more. So it really boils down to two key steps. First, you take the lecture, the direct instruction, and you get it out of the classroom. Usually, it's with a short video students watch at home. And then step two, you use all that class time you just got back for what used to be called homework, the practice, the activities, the hard stuff. Let's look at this side by side because this is where it really clicks. Think about a traditional school day. You sit through a lecture in class, kind of passive, then you go home and you struggle through the really hard homework, all by yourself. The flipped model just reverses that. You get the easy part, the lecture, at home, and you do the hard work, the practice, in the classroom, with the teacher, the expert, right there to help you when you get stuck. It just makes so much sense. So this simple change, it forces us to ask a much bigger and honestly a much more important question about what school is even for. It gets us past the what and right to the heart of the why. And here it is. This is the question at the core of the entire flipped learning model. What is the absolute best use of your face-to-face time together? Is it really for one person to talk at a group of people? Or could it be for something more, like guiding them, helping them, and working with them as they tackle the really challenging stuff? And the benefits? They are huge. Students finally get help from an expert right when they need it the most. Teachers suddenly have all this time to actually talk to and help every single student. And maybe most importantly, the whole culture of the classroom starts to shift from kids just trying to earn points to kids who are actually learning. That's exactly what our teacher Andrew Thomason discovered. I love this analogy. It's like giving every student a remote control for their own brain. I mean, think about it. You can't pause or rewind a live teacher if you get confused, but with a video, you're in complete control. You can watch it a dozen times if you need to. It puts the student in the driver's seat. Okay, so this all sounds great, maybe even a little too good to be true. But let's be real, it's not some magic fix. The guys who created this are very upfront that making this change is hard work and comes with some serious challenges. In the book, they lay out 4 major hurdles you're going to face. First, and maybe biggest, is just flipping your own thinking. Then you've got the tech barriers, which are real. Third, where do you find the time to actually make the videos and plan these new classes? And finally, you have to train everyone, yourself, your students, and even their parents on this brand new way of doing things. Often that first hurdle is the highest. It's the mindset shift. Co-founder John Bergman said it was one of the hardest things he ever did as a teacher, giving up his role as the sage on the stage. He had to literally surrender control of the learning process to his students. And he says it was terrifying, but also the best thing he ever did. And this brings us to a really critical point. It is so easy to get hung up on the videos, on the technology, but flipped learning is not a tech strategy. It's a teaching strategy, a pedagogical solution. The technology is just the tool that makes this new kind of teaching possible. That's it. So once teachers get comfortable with this basic flip, they often discover that it's not really the final destination. It's more like a gateway, a door opening up to an even deeper, more powerful way of thinking about education. The creators are really clear about this difference. Flipped Class 101, that's just swapping homework and lecture. It's a great start. But true flipped learning, that's about what you do with all that time you just got back. It opens the door for amazing things like mastery learning, where kids move at their own pace, or deep, inquiry-based projects. As this teacher, Stacey Dawes, puts it, the ultimate goal here is to get rid of the whole system of rewards and punishments, the carrot and the stick. It's about creating a space where students learn because they actually want to, because they're curious. It's about building that internal, intrinsic motivation that will make them learners for life. So we'll leave you with this question to chew on. The flipped model really challenges us to rethink what a classroom is for. If you take the lecture out of the spotlight, if that's no longer the main event, what else is possible? What could your classroom, or hey, your work meeting, your training session, what could it become?